Welcome back. Here we are on the 12th night, and Scheherazade is just getting started. She throws us right back into that dark, hidden tomb where the first dervish is standing, about to explain the unimaginable horror he's just witnessed to his hosts. And yeah, the caliph himself is right there in disguise, listening in.
So, just as a quick recap, the dervish and his uncle have just stumbled upon this secret chamber, and inside, wow, it's a horrifying sight. His cousin and a woman just burned to black as charcoal. But the truly shocking part, it's the uncle's reaction. He doesn't grieve, he doesn't cry out. He actually starts hitting the body with his shoe. The dervish is just standing there completely bewildered, watching this unbelievable display of pure rage.
So the dervish finally finds his voice and asks his uncle, "What are you doing? Isn't this punishment enough?" And that's when the bombshell drops. The uncle finally reveals the terrible truth. The boy wasn't just with a stranger, he was with his own sister.
And it turns out the uncle knew all along. He confesses that he was aware of his children's forbidden love and that he had tried everything to keep them apart. But their passion, which he blames on the influence of the devil, was just too strong. So what did they do? They secretly built this entire underground palace, a hidden world just for their affair.
The uncle is absolutely convinced this was no accident. Oh no. He tells his nephew that God himself, in his anger, struck them down with fire from the heavens. And this, he says, is just their punishment in this world, sort of a preview of the much, much harsher judgment that's waiting for them in the next, a truly devastating end to their story.
But just when you think things couldn't possibly get worse for the dervish, they do. His personal tragedy is far from over. As he and his uncle emerge from that tomb, still reeling, they walk straight into a whole new nightmare. Their entire kingdom is on the verge of collapse.
And just like that, his whole life unravels. Day 1, he discovers the horror of his cousin's death. By day 2, he's hearing the drums of an invading army. His father, the king, has been murdered by the vizier. And get this, it's the very same vizier whose eye our prince blinded years ago. So he knows he's the next target. With no other choice, he shaves his beard, puts on some rags, and flees his own city as a beggar. And so, he says, that's his story. That's the reason for his shaven beard and his lost eye. He just wandered the land as a fugitive until, by some twist of fate, he met the other two dervishes. He's convinced it was destiny that brought the three of them together and led them to this very house.
After hearing this incredible story, the lady of the house tells him he's free to go, but he refuses. He insists on staying to hear his companion's stories. And with that, the second dervish steps forward, kisses the ground, and begins his own unbelievable tale.
Now you have to understand, this dervish wasn't just any old prince. The guy was a prodigy, a master of scripture, a top scientific scholar, an expert in astronomy, a celebrated poet, the whole package. His fame was so widespread that the king of India himself sent him lavish gifts and begged him to come for a visit.
So his father sends him off with a huge envoy, 6 ships, a fortune in gifts, the works. But the journey turns into a complete disaster. 60 ruthless bandits ambush his caravan, kill all his men, steal everything, and leave him for dead. In a single afternoon, he goes from being an honored prince to a wounded, penniless fugitive. Wounded and all alone, he stumbles into a city where a kind tailor takes him in. But the tailor gives him a chilling warning. By some stroke of terrible luck, he's wandered into the kingdom of his father's greatest enemy. This is the one place in the world where his identity is an immediate death sentence.
The tailor's advice is brutally honest. Your knowledge is worthless here, he says. The only thing that matters is money. He gives the prince an axe and a rope and tells him to go join the woodcutters. And so for 1 full year, this brilliant scholar, this celebrated prince, lives in disguise, chopping wood every day just to survive.
But one day, this humble, back-breaking routine is shattered. Deep in the woods, the prince makes a discovery that's going to pull him out of the real world and drop him straight into the realm of magic.
He's out there digging at the roots of a tree when his axe hits something hard, clang, metal. He starts clearing away the dirt and uncovers a copper ring, and it's attached to a wooden trapdoor. Well, his curiosity gets the best of him. He has to lift it open. Underneath the door, a staircase leads down into the darkness. He follows it and finds himself in a magnificent, fully furnished palace. And there, a woman of breathtaking beauty greets him with total shock, asking him just one question. Are you human or are you a jinn?
And you can understand her surprise. She explains that for 25 years, she has been trapped in this underground palace. In all that time, he is the very first human being she has ever seen. Can you even imagine that kind of isolation?
She then reveals her story. She is a princess of India, and on her wedding night, she was kidnapped by a powerful jinn, an ifrit named Jurgis. This magnificent palace isn't a home, it's a gilded cage.
Now this Ifrit, she explains, only visits for one night every 10 days, and he isn't due to return for another 6. So she makes the prince an offer. Stay with her as her companion for 5 days, and just make sure to leave before the jinn comes back.
He agrees instantly. I mean, who wouldn't? For 5 blissful days, they just forget all their past sorrows, finding comfort and happiness in each other's company. The prince, of course, falls deeply in love, and with that love comes a very dangerous sense of pride.
Overcome with passion, the prince starts boasting that he's going to rescue her by killing the Ifrit. She just laughs at his arrogance because she knows the jinn's true power. She urges him to just be content with his amazing luck. The Ifrit gets 1 day in 10, she says, and you get the other 9.
But the prince is blinded by love and arrogance. He totally rejects her practical advice, boasting that he has a special destiny to destroy creatures like this Ifrit. And then he decides he's going to summon the jinn himself, right then and there, by destroying the enchanted dome that's used to call him.
And this right here is the moment of pure hubris. Ignoring her desperate pleas, he walks right up to the enchanted dome and kicks it hard. He has just summoned a powerful, supernatural being with absolutely no plan and no real idea of the danger he is truly facing.
The prince has made his fatal error, calling down a storm on both of them. But just as the consequences of his arrogance are about to unfold, Scheherazade sees the first light of dawn and falls silent. She leaves King Shahryar and all of us hanging in suspense. What happens when the Ifrit returns? Well, we're going to have to wait for the next night to find out.